the same, I got new shoes today. My baby missed me, wishing it was two of me. And I'm not, if I'm not, then what's the real deal? I've been up and down Pharaoh. Friend, bro, you did a real kill. Off the liquor and some pill bills. I've been at it since a church. Tell little baby, make it twerk. Go crazy, go crazy. Bro, pass me the rock. I've been moving out the box. Top speed going top. 101 going pop. Getting hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Braun. Yeah. Make it some and I'm spending some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, nigga.
Notoriety Sports Network. Built different.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, guys? What is going on? This is the Notary Uppercut. You guys, I'm going to introduce myself a little quickly because I know there's some people on here who are watching who may never have seen me before. I'm John. I'm one of the newer writers on the site. You've seen my stuff on the website before, but I'm also taking over now the hosting chair for tonight. So, Chi-Chi, I'll go to you first. How you doing? How was your day?
I'm okay. I've had better days, but you know what? It's okay. It's like midnight here right now in South Africa. But you know what? It's good. Let's go. Notoriety Uppercut. Let's go.
It's midnight already. Wow.
Sai, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, bud. Ready to get going. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I've been up since about 3:30 this morning.
Oh no. Why?
Because I had work this morning. I had to open today at work, so I was at work at 5 a.m. today. So to say I'm, kind of had a long day today is an understatement. But enough about that. We're here to talk about the one thing we all love, and that's professional wrestling. Yes, folks, we are calling it professional wrestling. This is not sports entertainment, as some companies like to call it. This is professional wrestling. You can
John is coming in hot.
You can get us on any social media website. We're out there. Just Google us. You will find us anywhere. But
if you do want to follow us, you can find us on Instagram as well as on Twitter at Notoriety Sports. Come on, get into it.
Absolutely. But guys, let's get going now. What a week it's been. What a week it's been. Let's start off with the show that everybody loves to hate, Monday Night Raw. And I want to look at the draft. Now, I know, the draft has been the big thing surrounding Raw. Chi-Chi, I'm going to go to you first on this. What are your overall thoughts on the draft? And do you think either brand won and all that?
See, I'm so tempted to actually just leave that a mystery and be like, what are my thoughts, Like, I want you guys to actually be thinking about it. Like, what does she think? Because I did write about this, and I want you to go check out my piece. But, I think the draft wasn't really that amazing, honestly. There's a lot of potential, though. I know a lot of people were saying that SmackDown lost the draft, but I feel like there's a lot of potential. And that's the one where there's a lot of flexibility. I feel like their roster has more flexibility and all of that. So that's just my brief thoughts on it.
Sai, what about you?
Yeah, I disagree with the whole SmackDown lost the draft, Raw won the draft, because SmackDown was already the strongest show of the two anyway. And then you add two studs like Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. You bring over the New Day. You bring up Hit Row from NXT.
Yeah.
To me, right now, they're the fresher show, definitely, because Raw didn't really add a lot at the top of the card. And I feel like SmackDown got a little bit fresher at the top of the card because now you got Drew and Sheamus coming in. They could team up and make a run at the Usos, because they have history as friends and a team. They could either break off after the Brock and Roman program's over with and challenge Roman, and that's a fresh feud. I think everybody's kind of been itching for the Drew and Roman program to kick off for a while now, since like Survivor Series last year and stuff like that. So I feel like SmackDown actually may have actually got the better of the draft. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know why everybody's saying that. I mean, Raw definitely got better than they were, but I think SmackDown got the better stars and fresher programs out of the draft.
And my here's my thing with the draft. I don't understand why you do it now, when technically it doesn't go into effect until after Crown Jewel. Yeah. To me, and this was brought up on several different wrestling things I watched or even listened to, would it make more sense to do the draft the night after Crown Jewel that you can easily set up right for Survivor Series? Because to me, right now, you look at, I mean, they haven't announced yet how Survivor Series is going to look this year, but more than likely it's going to probably be champion versus champion for the most part.
Yeah.
So
that's how they usually do it.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're going to have Roman.
With Crown Jewel, you got SmackDown superstar now, Drew McIntyre, going after Big E and the Raw. And so that's already pretty much a given that Big E's going to win that match, because they're not going to give the belt to Drew knowing he's going to SmackDown afterwards. So I feel like it definitely would have benefited waiting until after Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
It gives away a lot of the match results already, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And to me, it doesn't help Crown Jewel. And honestly, why am I going to be invested going into Survivor Series when you can have a guy who just joined a brand not even a month beforehand?
Yeah.
To me, if you wanted, and I'm all for a draft, shake things up, whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't even do it before Survivor Series. I would wait till
before.
No, not even before. Do it in December, where you don't really have a lot going on. Do it, if you want to do it during one of the holiday episodes.
Yeah.
I agree with that, because that's when they start the yearly WrestleMania build, and you could start fresh, feuds going, and it won't be like a year-long program to build towards WrestleMania, because that gets a little bit stale after a while. So I think, December would have been a good time, because that's kind of the season that fans kind of lapse away from the show anyway. They're more worried about the holidays and things like that. So, I definitely think that would have been a better idea.
Because
Dan also thinks that SmackDown won the draft, by the way. Dan Hood, main man in the building.
Yeah. Dan's the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know in the comments below, wherever you're watching us, who do you guys think won the draft? But to me, did you guys think Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville basically coming out each night, do you guys think it helped at all?
I feel like it was better than us seeing Stephanie, right?
Yeah, I think everybody's sick of Stephanie.
Bad. Okay, not that there's anything wrong with her. Now that sounds rude, but like.
No, I mean, but everybody is kind of sick of her.
Daniel. Oh.
Yeah, we're losing John. Go ahead.
I think you're gonna lose me too just now.
Sure, must go on.
Dan basically said that he would have really liked to see the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline.
Yeah, they could have came over too, but man, I think that Brock being the whole free agent, that's a wild card, because I feel like maybe at WrestleMania they might build to the Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match on that side of it. So.
Jumping in here real quick with you, bro. Hey.
Man, we're losing everyone.
Everybody's losing it. See, we start talking about Crown Jewel and this one.
Yeah, start talking about Goldberg and everything starts going downhill.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening. I did comment I hate the Crown Jewel. I don't really.
This Crown Jewel's actually looking a little better than some of them in the past, though, if you take the Goldberg match out of it anyway.
I feel they're overhyping and overselling Goldberg a bit. I mean, I get, we've as fans, I know you and me have definitely talked about it. We don't agree with him coming in. He looks bad now, and I guess they have to really sell him to us, which maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
Well, they love him over there because they haven't got him like we have. They aren't, we're kind of over him they haven't been force fed him like we have. Plus, if he does win the match, at least Bobby don't have the belt, so it's not like we got another Goldberg wins the title type thing. So, I mean, I guess that's a plus. If he does win, he's not getting the title. So,
I hope if he gets that title, I'm rioting. I'm just gonna
no.
I'm just gonna riot and be like, nope, I'm not watching no more. Welcome back, Chi Chi. Yeah.
I'm back and I'm better.
Back and better than ever.
It's what happens on lives, man.
On the plus side, we actually got Nick to actually come on camera.
Yeah,
I know. I'm glad I was paying attention to what y'all were saying because
yeah.
I looked and I was like, oh, John's frozen. Oh, Chi-Chi's frozen. I was like,
Man,
all right.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't want to say their name because I don't want to get in any trouble or anything. But man, they're the worst cable / internet company. I mean, it's like since they've bought out our local cable company, the whole thing's went downhill since then. And they're supposed to be one of the bigger ones. I've had internet trouble like since they took over. I've had nothing but internet trouble. It's crazy. So I'm sure John's probably out there having some trouble.
Yeah, he
Dan
just texted
says Nick the GOAT. I know that's right.
I'm trying to help, man, wherever I can.
But yeah, I definitely think SmackDown got the better of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you guys feel like we won't be able to see the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline though, like down the line, like at some point?
They could build that to Survivor Series now that the New Day's on SmackDown. They could do, if Bobby was to get the title back somehow or something, they could still do the Hurt Business and Bloodline at Survivor Series.
I apologize about that. I blame Retribution for what just happened.
Yeah. No, they broke up, man. You can't blame them no more, man.
Oh, yeah. Apologize about that, folks. Yeah, no, literally what happened was as we were talking, all of a sudden my whole screen just went blank. And I'm like, oh, come on, not right now.
Right in the middle of you talking.
Oh, of course. So what did I miss? Well, I was trying to reboot.
Nick saving the show, basically.
I jumped in to talk trash about Crown Jewel
and Goldberg.
And Goldberg.
Thanks for the save.
Good. I'm about to do a John Cena and
we won't see you.
Oh, wait, should I go get a trash can?
Oh, hey.
Speaking of the Crown Jewel event, right? Are you guys how do you guys feel, right? Because I know, I've realized that we have very differing views as people on different time zones about the start time of Crown Jewel.
Well, luckily it's on a streaming system because if people are at work and aren't able to watch it live, they can still go back and watch it later on in the day. But yeah, it definitely and let's be honest, it's not an event made for us anyway. It's an event made for that side of the world, because or else it wouldn't even be happening. Let's be honest. I mean, older people that they have always brought in, they wouldn't be on the United States based shows or anything like that. So.
But here's the funny thing that you bring that up. You guys know how every year the Prince always asks for certain people at the show, right? You know who he asked this year? You know who he asked this year, right? He asked for Daniel Bryan and CM.
Yeah.
And the one thing I actually am looking forward to, and this may shock people, there is one match I'm looking forward to. Seth Rollins and Edge.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, this is definitely a better card than what we've had in the past. There's that match. Drew and Big E's going to be a good match,
But here's my thing. Here's why I'm liking it. For one reason. They're actually using a stipulation that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're using Hell in a Cell.
That's a treat for them people over there too. They've never seen that live, so that'll definitely be a treat.
Unfortunately, they may think it's Yokozuna in there. So, but that's the one thing I'm looking forward to because they're actually using a stipulation that makes sense. It's not like when they do the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and it's okay. We're just gonna put these two people in. Why? Oh, because it's called Hell in a Cell.
But if you're going to name it Hell in a Cell, every match should be inside there, to be honest with you. I mean, just like the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, every match should be some kind of extreme stipulation.
Yeah.
And they had one match that had an extreme stipulation in it. Yeah.
They had one job. I'm just saying, they
Yeah.
had one job.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Edge
no,
and
yeah,
Seth Rollins
they had
would
one
definitely
job.
put on a banger in that cell, though, because they're two guys that know how to use it, know the psychology of the cell, and they're both willing to do whatever it takes to get the
Well,
the aspect of the cell across to people.
Here's the funny thing. I've always said, to me, Seth Rollins is the modern day Edge. Look at how both of them, Edge was successful with Christian, Seth Rollins was successful with The Shield, and then look at both of their solo careers.
Which they said that on TV, right? They kind of compared their rise and their early careers and their ultimate, triumphs and everything. They definitely mirror each other as far as their careers go.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, that's probably the one match I can say I am looking forward to.
But it could be like a passing of the torch kind of thing. Like Seth Rollins is the company man now, like Edge was Seth Rollins can carry a show on his own. He is like Edge in that way. Like for years, Edge, helped carry SmackDown on his back while Cena, Batista, Ray, other guys were doing some other things and being off on like middle to undercard feuds and stuff. Edge was definitely the top guy on that show for a long time.
Yeah, but the thing is also where you got somebody like, especially like with Seth and Edge. I mean, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. Damn well you're gonna get a good story out of it. The other thing I also want to get to, and it kind of surrounding Crown Jewel, and that's the two tournaments that have been going on right now: King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown. We have to use the proper terminology here. Can't call it the Queen of the Ring. No, we have to call it the Queen's Crown.
Of course I can't, because then it would piss Charlotte off.
Twitter yesterday. Ooh.
What do you think about that? I mean, the heavy fan favorite got beat in the first round. Liv Morgan got beat by one of the ones that the fans actually dislike the most, and that's Carmella.
Okay.
And Liv Morgan got knocked out in the first round. I almost feel like this tournament's built to officially crown Charlotte.
I have a bigger issue than that. This is your first time you're doing this tournament. I don't know if you guys saw the stat. They announced that I think both matches were less than 3 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes for both?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to repeat it again. This is the first time you're doing this. And you're giving these women 2 minutes each? Whatever happened to the stuff of give divas a chance and give them a chance and all that crap?
Yeah. I feel like even over there, once they get over there, it's going to be, even the final's going to be pretty short and quick, to be honest with you.
But to me,
I feel like they're still not quite evolved over there enough to accept the fact that the women can actually put on a hell of a match, if you give them time. Like, even though we've seen it, I don't think they've quite accepted it over there.
No.
But you know what I think my biggest problem with this is, right? It's just one of those things where, for example, Carmella actually winning that match, right? Sure, we don't want to see that. No one wants to see it, right? But I feel like we'd be more accepting of it if the two ladies actually went for a reasonable amount of time, right? And we actually saw Carmella actually earn that win. Because right now it just seems like she just gets 2 minutes. Like, are you trying to tell me that Liv Morgan isn't good enough to go 2 minutes with Carmella?
But here's my thing. 2 minutes, that's what they used to do pre-Evolution. When they had the Evolution pay-per-view, that's what they were doing. It was called the bathroom break, if you want to call it that.
I mean, technically, it's a squash match. I mean, let's just use the right terminology. You know what I mean? And you're squashing a heavy fan favorite that has earned a right to make a run at if you ain't going to give her a title run, then why not go ahead and give her that Queen's Crown thing, Make the fans happy.
I'm saying this right now, and it'll be on record. I think the next women wrestler from the WWE to jump ship to AEW is Liv Morgan.
I almost think that's what I agree with you 100%, buddy.
I think that's what they're setting up for, because to me, this is somebody who I would almost say is similar in the sense of what Daniel Bryan went through. She's getting the fans behind her. It was what happened.
She's not forcing the issue. She's just kind of just being who she is.
But think about it this way. It's not the first time it's happened. Go back to Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
Go back to Becky Lynch going into WrestleMania 35. Okay, look at Miro. When he was Rusev in WWE.
We can go back further than that even. Let's go Zack Ryder.
Yeah. How many people do you know can get over Rusev Day other than Rusev?
And that's something that the company don't seem to like. If they're not the ones that get you over, they don't seem to like the people that get over on their own without any help from the company or any of the marketing or any crap like that, which is BS, because those are the people that have that. If they're able to get over on their own, then they've actually got a natural charisma, a natural connection with fans. They don't need all your help, so you can give that to people that might need it and let them take the ball and run with it on their own.
Okay.
So, that company right now, and I'm blaming it all on the guy that was the agent that somehow is now running an entire wrestling company, and Nick Khan. I'm blaming him for 95% of this crap.
Well, this is the other thing
Ezreal in the comment section, guys. Ezreal in the comment section is on some hashtag free Liv Morgan. So
absolutely,
free Liv Morgan, nice.
Okay, but I'm going to throw you this one. Go back to the 90s, because everybody loves to go back to the Attitude Era. Look at Stone Cold. Look at The Rock. Undertaker. How did all of them get over?
They got over on their own. They definitely got over on their own.
So they got over organically. Those are some of the biggest names in this entire industry. But yet, Liv Morgan is trying to get over on her own, and we can't push her. We have to give her a 2-minute splash. Lost to what's her face.
Yeah. I feel like they're doing the same thing to Kevin Owens right now too.
Oh, Kevin!
Is they're jobbing him out, and it's all to try to make his star seem a little less bright. So when he does leave, he don't look as a big of a star signing with the other company. I feel like that's what they're doing with Liv. If she goes to AEW and teams back up with Ruby, and they'll have such new life, and they'll have that creative freedom and all that, man. I mean, it'll do wonders for that women's division over there. I think it'll boost the morale of all of them if they see them girls having fun. I think it'll be great. Yeah, but to me, and I've said this before, as long as WWE is making these stupid decisions, AEW is going to be the one to benefit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But not even just AEW. The independents are going to benefit. Yeah, the wrestlers themselves, because now they have somebody to use as a negotiating tool. If you don't do me better, I'll just go over there because I know they're going to do me better. Look how they're doing for everybody else. And Adam Cole, since he's got there, let's just call a spade a spade. He's probably more over than Danielson and CM Punk, either one right now with that crowd. And it's because he fits that wrestling show and that company to a T. That's, that. But not even that, though. Like him. But not even that. Not even just AEW. I know AEW is the company everybody loves to look at. But you got other ones like Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. You name it. You have these other companies here. And I would say Impact more than Ring of Honor. Right now, Ring of Honor is still kind of down a little bit. But if they start bringing some of their the guys that made that company famous back in, even for guest shots and stuff, it'll boost their company up a little bit more. Yeah. New Japan right now, with them running their American stuff, they're even a viable option now that they're doing an American product. Okay, I can't wait to see Bryan Danielson on New Japan. Honestly, I cannot wait. Yeah. Okay, bro. I'll throw you another one. MLW. Yeah. Yeah. Will Ospreay just had his debut down there. So I mean, no, he's debuting in November. Oh, okay. Oh, was it? I thought they said it was coming. No, they announced it that he's going to be debuting. But they just had, that's a coup right there, because let's be honest, when he's healthy, he may be the best on the entire planet Earth. But here's the thing. If he's going to be working for if he's working for MLW, do you realize then that gives a better shot of possibly seeing him on AEW? Oh, yeah. He's already thrown the gauntlet down to the guys in AEW, Danielson, Punk, Kenny Omega. He's wanting those matches. I think that's what he's doing right now, is he's kind of trying to shop himself around for the biggest matches that he could possibly be involved in. Yeah. Like not being tied down to one company, but I feel like he go over in AEW because of also his promo skills. They're top tier, hey? So yeah.
Absolutely. And to me, with what these other companies are doing, Sai, you said it before, the wrestlers are the ones who are going to benefit because they can use it almost as like a bargaining chip.
Yeah.
Where they can turn around and be like, because you mentioned it actually, we were doing that Twitter thing right after AEW with what Seth Rollins is doing now.
Yeah, using it as or his contract's got like 2 or 3 years, and he's still already throwing them little seeds out. Like, we'll see what it's like when at the end of my contract is what's going to happen.
I mean, look at right now. You got guys like Bray Wyatt who haven't been signed yet. Braun Strowman. Go down. I mean, you were talking about him before. Matt Cardona. Look at what has happened with Cardona's career since leaving WWE.
And since not being tied down, that's something else. Like, I feel like that's going to be the new trend is instead of like signing exclusive contracts, guys are going to sign like match number of matches type contracts with each company, like how actors do films. They'll sign a Disney contract and it's for X amount of films, but they can still go make films for other companies as long as they make those 5 films for Disney. I almost look at that being like almost a new trend, and it could be just absolutely nuts for us fans. Like, could you imagine even like I can actually see it now, like a pay-per-view, where all these other companies, of course, WWE ain't going to be a part of it, but it'd be great if they would be. But all these other companies throwing like a joint pay-per-view on and having like, matches between each other's top stars.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome. And see the landscape of these other companies now, they don't have the egos that the WWE's leadership has. Like, they're willing to go ahead and put guys from other companies over. We've seen that in Impact and AEW, AAA, all these other companies, Ring of or New Japan, where they're actually willing to let guys from other companies come in and put them over their guys. And that's that unselfishness, realizing that it still benefits us, even if our guy loses to that guy, it still benefits us because eyes are going to be on our product, and they'll see these other wrestlers, and and they'll see more of our product, and it'll benefit everybody. Well, and I think that's pretty freaking awesome, especially for us fans.
You bring up that point. Go back to when Kenny Omega and Rich Swann had their little feud. Do you think that actually helped Impact?
It helped a little bit. It did.
Because
their ratings now are have like been cut into like a fourth of what they were while Omega was there with the title. So it definitely helped Impact a little.
Yeah, but I just wish it would have done a little bit more as far as it would have, given Rich Swann, they would have had him go after the title again after he had lost it. Because it feels like once they were done with that, it was like, okay, we're just going to move on now.
Yeah,
and
which that's true. That he kind of dropped completely out of the main event scene. I mean, he went back into a team with old Willie Mack, which that's another dude I like. I don't know why people are sleeping on old Willie Mack, man. That dude, for a big dude, that dude can move and he can wrestle. That's what I mean about. And my article about PWG will be up today. Now that my internet's fixed. That's what I mean about that PWG. I mean, those guys that started out there, that developed themselves out there, and were given that freedom in that company. They're the most influential guys in the entire business. They're in every single company on the planet. I mean, and that style that style was developed more in PWG than it was anywhere. The mixture of even the comedy wrestling, like some of the best stuff I like from PWG is like when they do the slow motion thing, and even the crowd is cheering in slow motion and stuff. To me, that's hilarious. I mean, wrestling is at its best, yes, when it's entertaining, but that style of the high spots and the traditional mat-based wrestling, it's been developed in PWG and pushed to the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, PWG is one of those companies that people forget because of how, I mean, we were talking about it offline because I made the point, I said, well, what about Ring of Honor? But then you kind of made the comment of, yeah, but those guys came from PWG. And I'm like,
I did, yeah.
You forget how many guys, and we can get to PWG later on, but you forget how many of these guys right now who are in the main event of WWE, AEW, started up. I mean,
they still go back there for shows. Like Malachi Black just went and wrestled for a PWG show like a month or two ago.
Isn't he the tag champ down there? with Brody King.
He might be actually, yeah, Brody King from Ring of Honor, and he's even wrestling in New Japan as well. So that's what I mean. PWG, they've been so good to those guys that those guys are willing to go back there, and like they don't even run shows all the time.
No,
they just run shows periodically. They don't have a TV show. They don't put
Those
put
are
on
classic
these big
shows, hey?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Silver Dragon and Excalibur and them guys, they definitely, for the longevity that company has had, and for them not running as many shows and stuff, but them still being around and having the respect and the influence on the business they have, that tells you that those guys know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, and
Azrael brings up a very good point, guys. Like going back to the whole thing of like actually having brand type of things, right? Like if the companies were to actually work together and all of that. He says, imagine the Tribal Chief versus Kenny Omega. I feel like put aside the wrestling, think about the promos, the build-up of it all. Don Callis going up against Paul Heyman. I feel like we would get amazing content from that.
Oh,
Yeah, because they even have history from him being in the ECW and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if WWE did get involved, it would be epic. It'd be great. I mean, you could see the Usos and the New Day against the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers and, all these great matches that would just be, the fans would be the winners, but so would the companies. It would go a long way to redeeming WWE in the eyes of the fans and Triple H, as much crap as he gets from people and stuff, he's always said that he's willing to do that kind of stuff because everybody wins in that type of situation. That's right. That's right. I wish Triple H was the guy in charge of the whole company because I feel like we would have an entirely different WWE right now.
Imagine we got to see the New Day versus the Young Bucks. Like, remember at some point when they were all teasing that thing with like also Kenny Omega. And also, I know New Japan's Gorillas of Destiny, Tama and Tonga, right? When they were teasing, they with the Usos. Guys,
yeah, because they're kind of related to the Usos and Roman and stuff. So they could even either do like a thing where they're going to come in and fight those guys or even become part of like the bloodline stretched across multiple companies. You know what I mean? Like the Bullet Club was. I mean, there's so many things that they could do, and they're just, I don't understand it.
It's funny. The bloodline to me could be on the same level as Bullet Club because look at Bullet Club and how you see them in every company.
Yeah.
Think about
Jacob Fatu and in MLW. He's one of their family members.
Yeah. You have him. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there going to be a new one joining NXT?
Yeah, the Usos' little brother. He's coming. He's in Performance Center right now.
Yeah. Wait. You mean they actually bring in people and they actually let them go to NXT, not what they're doing with what's his face, Stevenson?
Yeah, Gable Stevenson. They might end up screwing that poor guy up, man. Throwing him on the main card that quick with.
I have to get this out, and then we'll get back into WWE and all that. What are they doing with him? You have this kid who is coming in, and he's still a kid, in my opinion. Never been in the ring before, never cut a promo. Yes, I understand the comment's going to be, well, what about guys like AJ, who went right to WWE? But he was proven already.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best in the world for 15 years before he even got to the WWE. So,
I mean, not to use your line, who has he ever put over?
Yeah.
Seriously, the guy's never cut a promo. He's never been in the ring.
I feel like they'll give him a mouthpiece, number one. But I also feel like him and Brock do have a relationship. So, and him and Heyman do have a relationship. So I do feel like there's been some, at least minor training or, psychology talk, things like that.
Here's the funny thing. If they want to give him a mouthpiece, I like that idea. They would probably go like Paul Heyman or something. I have one who would be even better. Kurt Angle. Bring Kurt back.
Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Unite.
Yeah, I mean, the story's there. Really, this is the next generation of me, basically, Kurt would say,
I mean, I know he's out with the company right now, but, how many times have we seen guys leave WWE and then come back when there's right stories there? But here's the thing also. I wouldn't let Stevenson talk at all. The one thing that drives me nuts when it comes to professional wrestling is these guys who get the mouthpiece who are able to cut a promo.
Like we've seen Brock. Brock can actually cut his own promo. I mean, yeah, he's been a Heyman guy for all these years and stuff, but he can do his own promo. And like some of the best stuff he did was with Eddie Guerrero. Now, happy birthday, Eddie. Rest in peace.
Yep.
You know, but some of the best stuff Brock has done in his entire career was his stuff with Eddie Guerrero without Paul Heyman doing his own stuff. I mean, it was hilarious, them two going back and forth.
To me, you would have an effective big guy. You don't have him speak at all.
Yeah, like one of the things, Cornette, you can say whatever you want about Corny. I mean, I like him. I've been a wrestling fan for 40 years, not giving my age away, but a long, long time. And so I've been through every era you can be through. And Cornette is at least in the top 5 of mouthpieces ever in history. And he said that you don't have to have a mouthpiece if you're that big and bad, that actually speaks for itself, that you don't have to cut promos. You don't need a mouthpiece if you're this big bad dude. That enough said, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Because the charisma, think about it. You see a big, huge hulking dude walk into the store or a bar or anywhere, and all eyes automatically turn towards that humongous dude because that automatically speaks for itself. You know, like the old saying goes, if you're the biggest, baddest dude, you don't need to tell people you're the biggest, baddest dude. Other people will say it for you. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of buy into that logic. But yeah,
Guys,
Gable Stevenson, I don't
can
think.
we go back to the if we're just going back to the Crown Jewel event, right? I saw this funny tweet last night. I actually was laughing in my bed alone. But anyway, basically this guy was like, while seeing as the Crown Jewel event is happening in Saudi Arabia, we already know that Sami Zayn isn't going forward this tournament then, yeah? I was so glad.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
I mean, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I'm glad you just brought that up. Sammy's definitely not winning this tournament. So
and
you went to the conspiracy video.
It's funny. We were talking before about how Liv got screwed in that tournament. You want to talk about another guy who has been screwed by the WWE for the longest time, and that is Cesaro.
No, without a doubt.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
I thought there was. Can I tell you, right before that match started between him and Finn, right? I immediately knew that I wasn't happy with the result, regardless of what happens, right? Because I just didn't like the fact that they were matched up in the first place. Because I was like, Finn is like this character that we like, and he just like lost, right? As the demon and whatever. So it would be like one of those things where it's like, oh no, the killing is push, right? If he lost. But in order for him to win, Cesaro needs to lose. Cesaro. Come on. I was like, nah.
I'm sorry. Since Cesaro has been in WWE, it seems like they give him the push, and then, oh no, we're going to take it away.
Or they stick him in a tag team.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, before he got to WWE, his biggest claim to fame was tag team wrestling.
But here's the thing, though. He's good, but here's the thing, though. He can talk on the mic. He has the look.
The fans get behind him. I mean, he's another one that kind of got himself over organically. And the company, it seems like they get de-pushed once the company realizes these guys got over on their own. That's when the push is taken.
How many people do you know get over a freaking swing as over as he got it? I mean, seriously.
Him going out in the crowd and blowing up the beach ball. Yeah, it took the beach ball away, but it definitely got over, you know.
But he's somebody who should have been a multiple-time champion already. He should have been in a few main events. But no, we have to, stick him, and don't get me wrong. When he was with Sheamus in the bar and he was with Tyson Kidd, he was good. Don't get me wrong. And there are some guys in professional wrestling.
He did have a reign with Nakamura.
But there are guys who are better as a tag team wrestler than as a singles guy. But you never gave him the potential as a singles guy.
Yeah.
You never allowed him. And then when they did the stupid thing after WrestleMania 30, and they put him with Paul Heyman for a week, it felt like that killed it right there.
No.
To me, you should crap. He's from Switzerland, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
Why not give him the IC title? And have him turn around and be like, look, I'll defend it anywhere. Think about it. He's another guy who I'm going to say right now, I think will be out of WWE real soon.
I do too. They already talk about him over, and I know we bring up AEW a lot, but it's because those guys are all friends. I mean, they even still call him Claudio. They don't call him Cesaro when they talk about him on like being the lead or in interviews. Claudio Castagnoli, and they're all buddies. They're all friends. They all have respect for each other. And I know we bring up AEW a lot, but that's why, because there's certain guys that fit together, and that in a company with those guys in it will thrive. And that's why we're seeing AEW thrive, because a lot of those guys from PWG and the Ring of Honor and the New Japan relationships, they're reestablishing that. Bobby's all elite, you know what I mean? And that was the Young Bucks that got him signed. So
I'll go a step further. Why not put Cesaro in Ring of Honor?
Yeah, take him back to Ring of Honor. Let him be the guy.
Let him go for the pure championship.
That's another guy,
just leave it at
Jonathan
that.
Gresham.
Exactly.
And he
still goes back
really
to
would
PWG. Yes, that's right, Peachy.
Guys,
But
Dan earlier on had said, honestly, the best match at Crown Jewel will be SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this?
I agree.
If they give it the time.
If they give it the time, my issue with this is Becky being a heel.
I think it's everybody's issue with it.
They're forcing it.
Yeah.
And I understand she's using the same mentality that Roman did, that when she came back, she stiffly asked to be a heel. I'm sorry, how do you go from being the biggest babyface in the company coming out of WrestleMania 35, it was 35, to all of a sudden trying to think you're next Conor McGregor?
They're kind of comparing it to when they tried to force Stone Cold into the heel role, and nobody would cheer, nobody would boo him. Everybody still cheered him no matter what he did. He could beat up the second most popular guy on the roster, and the fans still cheered him for beating up that guy, you know?
Yeah. To me, Becky as a heel is pointless. I mean, yes, I said, no, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. No, I was going to say, I feel like the reason why they were trying to push her as a heel is just so that they can gain some sympathy for Bianca. But now it's a bit redundant because Bianca's heading over to Raw. So either way, it's kind of like we already know the result of that match. So it's like, bro.
Simple. You know who I'd rather have heel in that match? Bianca. Yes. I would have rather have Bianca be heel 10 times over Becky.
And there's a lot of fans saying that too, about how when she was the heel in NXT and stuff, it was so much better because her personality almost lends itself more to being a heel, you know, the whole dancing around, flipping your hair.
But she's that good also. So you look at her, you're like, I hate you, but why are you so good?
Yeah, and she's got a husband and they're doing great in life. That's what people like to hate for some reason. I mean, they're happy. Let's hate on them.
But like I left though, you look at somebody like her with, you know, her EST. You can easily use that as a heel thing and have people hate you. Yeah. You can have them turn around and be like, you know, while all you people here are doing nothing to help you, help yourself. I'm out here being the best I can be, and make it all about you. To me, it's simple. It's as the old saying goes: keep it simple, stupid. Mm-hmm. You have Bianca be the heel, Becky be the face.
I wouldn't mind them doing that with both her and her husband on Raw. Because, I mean, as much as I like the Street Profits as a team, let's be honest, Montez is the breakout star of that team.
And you know the story is there.
But I don't see him as like Montez. He does things that are just, I hate to use AJ's term, but phenomenal. I mean, a lot of the things he does, nobody else can do. I mean, the height he gets on that frog splash, I've never seen anybody get like that. When he hits that frog splash, it looks, you know, devastating. It looks like it hurt because he's coming from so far up. And I feel like he's got the charisma. Angelo, I mean, he don't have as much charisma as Montez. So you put him and we all know they're married. So you put them again. I'd say the same thing about Adam Cole and Britt Baker and AEW. You know, you put those guys together, show on screen, do the love festy thing, be the cocky heels, and it will just, you know, I think it'll be great.
Here's the thing. You brought up, you know, Montez Ford. You have the storyline right there. You get a Montez Ford turn around to Angelo and go, oh, I teamed up with you because I thought we were going to get to bigger heights. We didn't get anywhere. You held me back.
Yeah.
But here's a dream match. You bring up Montez Ford. I would love to see it. This is one that nobody really is talking about. Montez Ford versus Dante Martin.
Dante Martin's a good kid, but Malachi Black's about to put him in the grave.
Yeah, I would think so.
There goes Dante's push. I mean, let's be honest. He's running right into a black mass or whatever they call it now. That's the end of Dante's push right there.
Let's call it what it is.
We're not going to have Malachi lose.
But
I'd like to see Montez and Ricochet go at it, I mean, that's another guy.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man. Ricochet was one of the biggest wrestling stars on the planet. And, I mean, he would Lucha Underground,
Nick said it in
New
the
Japan,
comments.
everywhere he went. Yeah.
Hashtag free Ricochet. Hashtag free Sammy.
Yeah.
Ricochet, guys.
Come on, man.
Yeah, yes, apparently on the show tonight, we're just going to have free everybody, it seems like.
Yeah.
Why would you say free WWE? Make it simple. Cover, everybody.
I'm not a hater on WWE. I'm just a realist. And there's certain guys that don't fit. Like the WWE's been around for all these years because they have a certain model that they follow and a certain, stereotype, a certain mold that they go with. And it's usually like the bigger guys. And then the undercard guys, they're not small, but they're the workhorses, the Macho Mans, the Ricky the Dragons, guys like that. But the guys that were always the champions were always the biggest, strongest, guys that, were on the show. That's WWF. But now they've seen all these other companies thriving with what they're calling the independent style, but I'll go ahead and just call it the PWG style. But they've seen all these companies thriving with that style, so they thought that, we need to go ahead and grab all these guys because these companies, we can't let them succeed. Well, then you grab all those guys and you didn't use them, and it's because they don't fit that mold. So while WWE does have a niche, that's what I think. It's not these other shows that have a niche like they try to say. It's WWE that's always had the niche, and it's, characters, big, huge guys, workers in the mid card. That's that. They don't want to put workers at the top of the card.
I feel like with Ricochet, right? I feel like he could have been as big as Will Ospreay. You see how right now we praise Will Ospreay because remember there was that year where every time those two clash, you just knew that it was about to be fireworks up in those joints,
Yeah,
so
5-star classics.
I feel like him going to WWE kind of watered him down, and now we don't necessarily view him in that regard no more because he's not really being used in the best manner at WWE, honestly.
Yeah.
Nick in the comment section is on some hashtag free WWE of Vince. Jade.
Vince and Nick Khan, I think.
Did you guys see Vince trending the other day? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Someone was like, I saw him trending and I thought he had finally.
Oof.
I was like, damn, guys. Okay.
Wow.
With the way that they've upset Fox and USA and stuff, I mean, the board could someday come to a conclusion that they need a change at the top. I mean, that's the thing about going public. Vince kind of got neutered when he took the company public, and he hasn't had to deal with that yet, but he will. And it might be them networks, them TV networks, that get mad and maybe pull back some of that money later on in the next negotiations. And the board sees, if they see that Vince is the thing holding him back from making more money, they could literally vote him out or even do a vote of no confidence or whatever you want to call it.
Didn't they do that a couple of years ago? Did they have a whole storyline?
They did a storyline, but I'm talking about real.
Oh yeah,
real
absolutely,
stuff.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean. When he took that company public, he lost his stroke.
Who would you guys like to see at the top, though? Like you guys, as well as people in the comment section, also.
Triple
Who
H.
would you guys like to see at the top?
But Shane's completely out of the company now and doesn't want any part, or else I would have maybe said Shane, because he has been in that company and he knows, and he's butted heads with his dad so much to the point where he left the first time, So he's a smart businessman, but I would say Triple H. I mean, that's the guy I would want in charge.
John?
I would agree, Triple H at this point, because, and this is the comment I always say, look at AEW. Look at who's, I know they don't have, a creative team, but look who's behind the scenes. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, guys who have been in the trenches. Look at NXT before they decided to go Nickelodeon on us. you had Hunter, you had Sean, you had Road Dogg.
Mhm.
The shows that do better are the ones that have the writers or creative team. Oh, hold on, yeah, creative team of the guys who were in the trenches, not guys who wrote comedy shows and who don't even know who the damn champion is. You know, if you guys remember that whole fiasco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But one last thing I want to get to WWE before we switch over to some of the better other wrestling companies. WWE sent out a post today regarding Nakamura that he relinquished the crown, and because they began the King of the Ring. Do WWE think their fans are morons?
Yeah, I think that question's been answered several times. They do think we're morons. I mean,
do they not think we remembered that Nakamura only got the crown because he beat Corbin?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I forgot. Do you remember the movie Men in Black?
Yeah.
Oh, they hit us with the little zapper.
Yeah. Are we supposed to? But this is what I don't understand, because I saw the post today, and it's like, well, thank you, Nakamura, for representing the king, and you'll always be a great king. I'm like,
and we're all like,
yeah.
Have you seen that conceded?
Had it for like 2 months. That's not a very long reign.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, WWE fans, they think WWE must think their fans are idiots, and must think they're morons.
Well, they say everything they do is for us, but I don't see that. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Bull. It's absolute bull. That, they do it for the fans. It's completely bull. Because if they were doing it for the fans, they wouldn't be doing half the stuff they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, the big thing that I like what they're doing is what they're doing with Roman right now. It's some of the best stuff I've seen.
Yeah, that's some of the best stuff they've done probably since the Attitude Era. I mean,
but that's kind of where I kind of draw the line in the sand, because you have Roman doing the best work he's doing, and then you have Reggie, or as I call him, Flippy McGee, with the 24/7 title. So it's like all of a sudden it's like they write for Roman, then it's like, oh crap, what do we do with the other 2 hours for other hour and a half for SmackDown and 3 hours for Raw?
Yep.
Seriously, but let's move on now to NXT.
Before we move on, Dan raised a very important point right here. He says, and I quote, "Acknowledge Roman."
I acknowledge Roman.
Make sure, guys. Make sure. Always, okay?
No, it's hashtag acknowledge Roman.
Yeah. He's definitely the best. That storyline. I've been wanting to pit the Samoan dynasty for years. Like even, when The Rock was still coming in and out a little bit. I've been wanting that whole family to just come in and take her. The whole family, like everybody. Why hasn't Tamina been involved in that storyline? She's part of that clique.
You realize, if you add the whole family,
Nia Jax should be in that clique.
Hold on, if you do the whole family and you include everybody, you're not gonna. What are you gonna have? 3 minutes of SmackDown?
No,
and
across both shows.
Oh yeah. But I want to look at NXT for a bit before we get to Halloween.
Nick over here.
Nick is going in the comments, eh?
Oh man, thank you, Tribal Chief, for allowing us this beautiful day.
Wow.
Nice. Also, he was like, WWE be like, we do it for the fans. We be like, we want Cesaro and Ricochet. WWE be like, did you say Goldberg?
And we all know Nick's views on Goldberg.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that. Actually, hold on. What you're doing with Goldberg now, they're actually giving him a purpose. To an extent.
To take revenge for what happened to his son? I mean, I guess, yeah. As long as they don't put him anywhere near the title again, they can do whatever.
Oh, no. No. Keep him away from the title. But the Goldberg we're getting right now that has a purpose and has some sort of story there, he's not the worst thing I've ever seen on Raw. I mean, are we forgetting the WLC match that they did? His size head just went down.
He's talking about a while back with Hornswoggle and who's it? The Bull.
El Torito.
That match. Yeah, that was some funny stuff there.
I'm saying that's what
I
this company
actually
has
think that was
produced.
a lot better than what it's. I remember it was some funny stuff. I'll be honest with you.
But that's what this company has produced. So they're willing to
Guys,
go to.
Before we go to NXT, sorry, I'm trying to delay going to NXT. I don't know if you guys have picked up, but I don't really mess with NXT that much. But anyway, Calvin raises a very good point in the comments, right? He's like, because Tamina and Nia aren't proven dominant talents, like Tamina's matches are sleepers, super kick, Samoan drop, 1, 2, 3, and Nia kills everyone. So then, do you guys feel like it's fair for us to keep being like, the bloodline should actually incorporate those people, even though it's facts? Like,
they don't have to be like involved in like all the matches and stuff, but we know their family. So why wouldn't they be part of that storyline as far as the bloodline goes? They could be like, let's say Naomi, she's married, so she's part of the family. Make her the workhorse in the ring, and the other girls are her heaters, just like Kevin Nash was for Shawn Michaels, and Sid Vicious was for Michaels. All these guys, just have them be the chicks that if any other chicks want to get involved, they'll beat them down, or they help Naomi win, turn Naomi heel, have her in that stable, that kind of thing. They don't have to be the ones that go in the ring and wrestle. They can still be part of the storyline.
Think about it this way. What you're saying makes perfect sense. But you know why WWE would never do it? Because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. Why would the crowd chief bring in losers? I think that's going to be something. If he loses the belt, what are the Usos going to do?
Someone please call Caleb, because Nick is fighting in the comments. Yo, Nick is fighting. He's calling Goldberg Caleb's favorite wrestler on the planet. He's calling Goldberg. Okay.
Yeah, Caleb's a big Goldberg fan.
Wow. And Kelvin is really, he's like, why would the tribal chief bring in losers? Oh, dang.
I mean, I'm sorry. Are we bringing in Nia Jax so she can put somebody through a table?
We can do that. Why not?
Sorry, we can't see you. Oh, I can't see
you.
I
don't know why I got blurry all of a sudden.
Are you becoming John Cena?
Yeah, I guess.
He's fading.
I don't know what's going on.
Someone please
the picture down here in the lower left looks clear, but somehow the one up here don't.
As you're figuring out the tech problems, let's just go briefly. Let's go briefly into NXT.
Yeah.
We're going briefly, okay? We're going to go briefly. 30,000 feet up in the air. What are you guys' thoughts on Braun Breaker? Or as I call him,
Go ahead, Chi-Chi.
Steiner.
Why are you starting with me? I just told you that I don't really.
Okay, I'll say it. The dude should already be on the main roster. I mean, and that's another thing where you brought up how they're insulting our intelligence all the time. We all know he's a Steiner. He looks just like Scott at a young age. I grew up with Scott around here. He was in Bruiser Bedlam Wrestling when he first started, Scott Rex Steiner. He looks just like Scotty did at that age. And, I mean, we all know he's a Steiner. So they give him this stupid name and keep him in NXT. I mean, man, he's the next big star in WWE. He fits their freaking whole mold that we was talking about that they have. I mean, they should be pushing him to the moon, which I think they're going to do. Let's be honest. He'll beat Ciampa. Ciampa will end up being gone, like Gargano's going to be gone. They don't fit the WWE, and that's what they're doing with NXT now. They're going to use it like they want to, like they wanted to use it the whole time. They feel like Triple H ruined it by bringing in the indie guys and stuff. They wanted it as a farm system for the guys that fit their mold, like Braun Breaker and like Wayne the Train Bloom's kid that they just named something Wagner or something, Von Wagner.
Oh, Von Wagner?
Yeah, him and Parker Bordeaux and those type of guys. Those are the guys that WWE's wanting to get ready to bring up and push as the big stars of the future, not the Garganos, the Ciampas, Trevor Lees or Cameron Grimes, whatever you guys want to call him.
But here's the funny part. You bring that up. Like, look at somebody like Parker, for example. The guy looks great. He has the talent, everything. You tell him to go bald because you don't want him to look like Brock.
No, that's why they shaved his head, because they thought with the hair he looked like
Yeah,
Brock.
oh yeah, they looks like Brock. Did anybody get the Pinhead vibes when they saw him?
Yeah, and then they have him threatening like one of the guys that looks like one of the weaker guys that they've got on the roster now. The whole positivity guy and safe
Joe
space.
Gacy?
Yeah, safe space. That's going to be his first feud, is with that Joe Gacy guy. And I mean, if you're wanting to push this guy as a monster for the future, you need to put him in a feud with another big, huge guy and have him beat him, and like have him go. His first feud would be with what's the guy? Orlando Jones? Not Orlando Jones.
Oh, Odyssey Jones.
Odyssey Jones. Somebody like that, a big guy that looks like he'd be a threat, but Parker goes right through him. You know, that makes Parker look that much stronger, that much better.
You know what's funny? You bring up Odyssey Jones. I know we don't like comparing people back to the past. When I saw him the first time, you know who I thought of within 30 seconds?
Keith Lee?
Mark Henry.
Yeah.
That's what I
he
thought
even
of.
has that strap, the colors on the strap and everything. Yeah.
And I know he took offense to it, but I'm not saying that because of, I mean, look at how he's presented in the ring. He's presented as this big guy who can move. Do I have to go back to what Mark Henry used to do?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God they're not going to go to the sexual chocolate
Yeah.
route with him.
No thanks.
I know. I mean, yes,
I don't
know.
want to see no bit more baby hands in my lifetime. So.
I mean, I understand. Yes, they want to go edgier, as we saw in the Indy Hartwell segment the last couple of weeks with her and Dexter. But we don't have to go the sexual chocolate route, please. I appreciate that. But you look at what they're doing with NXT, and the ratings have been coming out the last couple of weeks, and the ratings have actually declined.
Yeah, they've went down every week.
Do you guys think that's because WWE basically did a complete 180, and like 1 week they were doing the whole black and gold, we're going to show you guys like Gargano and Ciampa and all this, and then the week later it's, well, we're going to show you guys like Joe Gacy,
purple and colors.
Yeah. Well,
he did a good analogy when he called it Nickelodeon. I mean, it does kind of remind you of something that would be on.
But here's the funny part. Do you remember back in the early days of AEW when they used to do the
splash thing?
Wonder where NXT got that idea from.
Remember we spoke about this on one of the previous episodes about like how this is very similar to that old AEW logo.
Yeah, everything was a reaction to what AEW was doing. I mean, it was everything.
Nick in the comment section is on some NXT 2.0. I don't know anyone new. I feel like I'm watching a rebranded Tough Enough meets Sunday Night Heat.
That's actually a hell of an analogy right there. A Tough Enough meets Sunday Night Heat. That's a good one.
Okay, Nick, I'll bring you up to speed, okay? You have a guy in Braun Breaker who looks like he could be part of the Muppets.
I don't think Nick cares. I'm sorry. I don't think he cares.
I'm being sarcastic right now.
But I agree. Braun Breaker is definitely the biggest star in that company as far as like the young guys. I mean, he's already got the in-ring down. He's an intimidating presence on the mic. I mean, you believe that he's going to actually hurt somebody. I believe that 100%.
Here's my only thing, though. He does great in NXT. What's going to happen when he goes up to the main roster?
They better push him, or else if he's got that Steiner attitude, they might have a problem on their hand. And I'm sure that he probably does. I'm sure his dad and his uncle have schooled him up on the inner workings of the business and stuff, and how he has to stand up for himself and can't get pushed around by, the upper echelon and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's already almost coming in with a slight chip that if somebody, does something that he don't like, I'm almost guaranteeing that.
I feel like I was only watching NXT for like Hit Row for like a good few weeks, right? And now they're going. So I'm like, I'm not sure, honestly. I think I'll just see all of these guys once they eventually get to the main roster. Because either way, they're going to be annihilated once they get there. Their characters are going to be different. So I might as well just chill.
Yeah, I agree with Booker, though. I agree with Booker. Booker T, he said on his show, I don't know if you guys ever check Booker out on his Houston radio show and stuff. He said that Hit Row could be the next big thing in WWE because of the things they do and their style. They represent more of a younger millennial type product. Yes, I think that I agree with that 100%. They could be, the next big thing. And I like AJ, Top Dollar. I mean, I really like him as a dude. Even I mean, I've seen like when he was on the Treasure Show, the Most Wanted Treasure Show, and you got to see his real personality and stuff like that, and that he's a real legitimate athlete, that he really has a love for wrestling, and all that. Those are the guys I gravitate to. The guys that when you see their real personal lives and personal views, they have that real love for wrestling. Batista never had it. That's why I was never a big Batista guy. Cena, even though people give him a bunch of crap, Cena was a lifelong wrestling fan. That's why I was like, okay, cool. Edge, lifelong wrestling fan. Rollins, all these guys, lifelong wrestling fan. If I know you're only doing it because you couldn't succeed at football or whatever, then I don't really gravitate to you as much, which is one of the saving grace for Roman is that he comes from that bloodline. Because if I would have thought in my head he's only doing it because he got injured in football and couldn't go pro, then I automatically would have been turned off by it. But I know those guys, Braun Breaker, he was a football player, but he's got a family lineage. So I know he grew up in the business, and I know that he has a genuine love for the business. So those are the guys I gravitate to.
Do you guys know the status of Ciampa's contract?
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard nothing either, but I'm sure it's probably going to be up pretty soon. I imagine him and Gargano kind of were signing around the same time because of them coming in at the same time. But with Ciampa being hurt more than Gargano, you know how they like to extend that time that you were out hurt and add it on to the end of your contract.
Ooh, so for real?
They do that. They've done that with just about everybody. Every time somebody gets hurt, they're like, oh, we're adding that to the end of your contract. That's why Jeff couldn't leave when Matt left. Jeff Hardy. Because when he was out injured, so they added that time back on the end of it.
Calvin in the comment section said WWE's biggest mistake would be letting Ciampa go. He needs to go to the main roster and just let him be a cycle with a new Goldie.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, and here's the one match. If you're gonna put Braun Breaker up on the main roster, have him gun for the tribal chief. Have Roman against Breaker.
Yeah, the way it's going now, that would basically be like a meal for Roman because they're not going to want to cut that storyline short. I'd almost rather see him go to Raw and maybe feud with that champion because I could see that going a little better for him. I don't see anybody like knocking Roman off the top spot
from NXT. Right.
But here's the other reason why I would love to see that. Doesn't have to be right now. The legacies with both of those families.
Yeah, but now he's the only one that can actually go. That family's got 5 guys that they can put in the ring right now, and Bronson Steiner, Rex Steiner would be the only one to represent itself. Well, Scott, I don't know if you've seen the match he had with Jerry Lawler here a couple weeks ago. Oh man, hell, Jerry is probably 15, 20 years older than Scott, and he looked better than Scott.
The one guy who people are saying right now they could see knocking Roman off the pedestal? Your former NXT UK champion, Walter.
Oh, yeah, man. But, man, we've been wanting Walter to come and be on the main roster for a couple years now, but he won't move to the U.S. full-time.
No, supposedly he's in the U.S. now.
Well, he does come to the U.S. for periods, but then he don't want to make a permanent residence here. What, like Nakamura, the reason Nakamura is still here is because he moved his whole life to the United States. And he's like, I'm here, I'm surfing, so that's, or else we'd be talking about him maybe leaving and stuff. But yeah, he don't want, like, who else is it?
Nick loves anything Houston, honestly. So I don't know him being like we love
King Booker. That's right, the greatest king of them all.
Come on. It's like my boy Swerve. Yo, guys, I love Isaac.
Yeah, Swerve. That's another guy that they ain't done right,
especially when he was kill shot in Lucha Underground.
That's right. Lucha Underground. He was the man.
Yeah. He I'm very curious. But one other thing I want to get to with NXT, and that's the women's division.
I feel like they've done Morrison's wife a little dirty. She shouldn't have been in a title match right as quick as she was, but when she did, they probably should have let her win it. I mean, she has everywhere she's went, she's been, one of the top females in that place every time, and she didn't. Them sticking her with the most losing stable in the entire maybe history of NXT, that Robert Stone crap. And she's maybe one of the most successful females of the past 10 years, probably, in wrestling.
And I know a lot of people are not really feeling Raquel Gonzalez's title run right now. They're like, it's okay, it was cool, but like, let's move. So I feel like she would have been a proper person because she's one hell of a talent in the ring. Frankie Monet, she's good.
Yeah. Here's my thing though. Do you guys see Mandy Rose being the one to take the belt off of her?
I actually think they are going to go with Mandy.
I think so too.
I think that's probably why she even agreed to go down to NXT. Is they probably
we'll give you a championship.
Run. Yeah.
Yeah, we booked you in probably one of the best storylines on going into WrestleMania 36 with Otis, but let's put you in NXT for a bit.
Yeah, I feel like that she's actually that little clique she's got going on. I like them. What do they call them?
Toxic Attraction.
Toxic. Yeah, I like that little clique there. I think they're pretty good. They
me,
got some of the UK women and in with her and stuff. I think.
Well, what's her face? The one who has the orange hair. Gigi.
Their names. Gigi Dolan.
That's Darby Allin's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's whose ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, Darby Allin.
Yep.
Okay.
Is she the one that was accusing him of stuff? Yeah. Yeah.
That's Priscilla. What's her face? Priscilla Kelly.
Yeah, Priscilla Kelly.
Oh, wait. We can't say her actual name,
Yeah.
WWE fans may get mad at us.
Nick said Sesame Street Mandy Rose equals Eva Marie. Come on, man. She ain't that bad. Come on.
Wow. No, actually, that's what I'm surprised. I think they would have put down in NXT. Eva Marie.
Eva Marie needs to go and model. Please, guys. Please get her off.
Yeah.
Like, please.
The one good thing she did give us was Dewdrop.
But you know what's funny? People comment about her in-ring ability, that it sucks.
Who?
But she's...
Eva
Marie. Eva Marie.
Oh. Okay.
But she's doing what she is supposed to be doing.
True.
That's the problem. That's what we're saying. They're putting her down our throats. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing, but that's not what we don't want her. We don't want her at all. And it's not it's not like good heat. It's get the hell
it's
off
like,
our
nah,
TV.
but leave.
Yeah.
Nick says Eva Marie belongs with Goldberg out of WWE.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Like I remember when she was on the Divas show, she was one of the ones nobody liked on that show even.
I just have one thing to say.
Eva Marie, yeah.
Is it safe to say if Goldberg wins at Crown Jewel, it would not make sense to have Nick on the show? Because he would probably go off on Goldberg winning.
I think we'd all would, be honest.
I think we'd all lose our minds.
I think they're going to give him the win. Because it's in Saudi Arabia. It's at a meaningless pay-per-view in the United States. So it doesn't really hurt Lashley at all. And if it's like Goldberg's son's there with him and distracts Lashley, and when he turns around and he gets hit with the spear, that doesn't really hurt Lashley a whole lot because it was a distraction finish. Which, if you watch Simon Miller on What Culture, that'll be like the 113th distraction finish since like March of this year. He's counting the distraction finishes on WWE.
I love Simon Miller.
Yeah, Simon's one of my favorites, if not my favorite, because he's a wrestler himself. So.
But yes, folks, you may want to stay tuned.
Now we get to Dynamite, right?
Well, I just want to say one thing, folks. Stay tuned to our social media accounts if Goldberg wins at Crown Jewel, because Nick may be going on a pretty long profanity rant. I'm just saying.
Nick hates it here. He hates it here. He's like, I hate Goldberg, but I know sadly he will win. Thank you, WWE. I hate it here.
Yeah, that's nice.
Get Nick to write the promos,
I'm laughing so hard over that one. Thank you. I hate it here.
I'm just saying, folks, stay tuned to our social media accounts because Nick may have some stuff to say if Goldberg wins. But yes, let's move on to the show that, in my opinion, has done probably the most in its short amount of time.
Before we get there, I'm sorry. Hold up. Guys, can I get your opinion on something real quick? Nick just said Hornswoggle is better than Goldberg. Do you guys agree with that?
Who? Who's better than Goldberg?
Hornswoggle. Nick's going on a rant.
I don't think I'd push it like that.
Okay.
I might park my social medias if Goldberg wins. That's
okay.
For sure.
I'm just going to say this right now. Nick, this question's for you. Goldberg or Great Khali? Moving on.
Yeah,
Moving on. Let's go into...
Great Khali was cool, man. He had the hit crushing thing. He was cool.
It's the Great Khali we're talking about here.
He did get over the chick magnet character he had, though. I mean, he was kissing every chick in the company.
He's the only person I know who can say they got eliminated by Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
But let's get over now to AEW. And they just celebrated their 2-year anniversary show. And if you happen to join us on Twitter, the three of us actually did our first Twitter space right after that show. But let's kind of go into it a little bit, guys. Overall, 30,000 feet up in the air. Thoughts on the show?
It was proper. I liked it. I feel like it could have gotten better just by the appearance of one more person. We all know who I'm talking about. Miss Jade. Miss Jade. Oh, I feel like if she was on that show would have been perfect. But okay, I'm joking. But like the show was proper, man. I really liked it. The matches were proper. New title. I was like, let's go. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I think people have been. It's kind of like when WCW Nitro was hot and everybody thought that somebody new was going to come in every show. I think somebody expected like somebody new to debut or something every week now, but that's got to be tempered a little bit. They can't just bring everybody in. But I do think that out of all the recent shows, maybe one of the guys should have been saved for this anniversary show. As far as one of the big newcomer guys, they could have held off a week or two and had one of maybe Cole or somebody debut at this show instead of everybody coming in right at the same time. That's the only thing I can actually find any fault with at all. To be honest with you, the matches were all bangers. The opening, I'm not a big fan of like 8 and 10 man tags because I feel like there's like too much going on sometimes. But that opening match with those guys, that was one of the better multi-man matches I've seen because everybody had something to do. It wasn't distracting as far as like you had this guy over here, this guy over here, this guy over here. The focus was always in the ring. There wasn't a lot going on outside. And like taking Christian out of the match, I thought was actually a good stroke of genius because that right there plays into the angle going forward.
Yeah. Now, did you like
but I agree, Chi-Chi, Jade will be the inaugural TBS champion.
Yeah.
I have another prediction on that, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I think the TBS title, well, I guess I'll get to it now. If I had to put my prediction in, I wouldn't give it to Jade so fast because I still think Jade is still way too green in the ring.
Yeah, but they got time before that actually debuts on TBS. That's in January. And you don't want to put it on like Thunder Rosa or one of the women that's going to go that's still fighting for the main women's title. You know what I mean? Because Ruby just challenged for the main women's title. Do you really want to put the secondary one on her? Because then that kind of diminishes where her, you know what I'm saying? Where her spot in the pecking order is. I think Jade would be kind of the perfect one because then you would have people at her level or under her gunning for that title, whereas the ones that are above her level can go after Britt's title. You know what I mean?
Here's the reason why I'm thinking Thunder. You want to put a name behind that belt right away.
Yeah.
And you want to build that belt up. I still say to this day what killed the Universal title in the WWE is you never gave it the proper time to build up. I mean, when Brock was off TV for all that time with the belt, to me, I think it killed the credibility. Not saying I don't think Jade won't get the belt at some point, but if you put it on an established person like a Ruby, like a Thunder Rosa, then you can kind of build it up.
Thunder Rosa is going to ultimately be the one that takes the belt off of Britt. So I don't see him putting the TBS title on Thunder Rosa.
Well,
Even with Ruby, I see her actually going for the main title.
Yes.
But I feel like this title, the TBS Championship, it's for that bitch. It's for her.
That's right. It even stands that bitch's strap. You know what I mean? So yeah. But, I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, she might still be green in the ring. But we talked about a mold for WWE. If you wanted to build a mold for like the perfect women's wrestler, it'd be Jade. I mean, she's athletic. She's got a legitimate athletic background. She's big and strong, and she's great. Her character is awesome. She don't need no more work as far as her character goes. She's the cocky, arrogant. I'm that bitch. If you want it, you got to go through me. And she just beat the two of the biggest women stars, Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa. So that automatically gives her a boost in credibility right there.
Yeah, I just think, to me, I would wait for Jade till a pay-per-view, kind of give her that moment.
Well, the tournament will probably culminate at Full Gear, so it will be a pay-per-view.
No.
It's next year.
Starts January.
Yeah.
The show, but I thought they already started the tournament. On Rampage with her and Sky Blue was the first round, I thought.
No,
No.
they're not started till January. I can see them having
the February pay-per-views Revolution. So
yeah, I can see them doing it there.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, even if you don't put it on Jade right away, for example, you always have Double or Nothing.
Which that's even something else. Sky Blue, they just had her get destroyed. I mean, destroyed by Jade. Yet she's still in that TBS tournament. And
they haven't announced any of the people.
Yeah. They announced Sky Blue, Ruby, Jade.
Yeah. I feel like they should bring in some other external talent, especially from that knockouts division. I feel like they should really bring in some people from there. Hey?
I forgot about her, Kira Hogan from Impact.
Kira Hogan couldn't get her due diligence in AEW, so yeah.
Here's another one you could always go with that I just thought of. Who happens to be the executive producer of Women of Wrestling?
Oh no, but
AJ's not going to wrestle.
Wait, guys, I keep hearing that she's injured.
Unless you're talking about Tessa, and
no, I'm not saying. Why not have you spotlighted Mission Pro with bringing a lot of their girls in? Why not bring in some of the girls from Women of Wrestling?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I would.
Yeah. There's a couple other ones.
I thought you meant AJ.
Mikiaki. What was the thing? I don't want to say her name wrong. Maki Ito.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the Japan. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Japan girl that was coming in and doing the singing.
Okay, but then you also have Emi Sakura.
Awesome. I loved her. She was great.
But then you also have Emi Sakura, who you can put in there. You also have. Okay, let me ask you this. I don't know if it would diminish her at all, but what about somebody like Hikaru Shida?
Yeah, I don't know what that's just crazy that they pumped up this 50th win and have the trophy down there. So we all thought, well, that guarantees she's winning. It's already got her name on it. And then she loses the match and gets the trophy broken over her head. I thought that was actually good booking, right?
Because you know what I think they're waiting for? I think they're waiting for Full Gear.
Which they probably will.
Build it up, and then have her. I wouldn't say have her snap, but I would have her almost sit there and go, okay, what do I have to do? Kind of use this. Here's a better way I can say it. Use this to kind of make her go heel.
Yeah, I like that idea, actually. Like a pissed off psycho Shida. I like that, actually, because she has, which she started out when she first started in AEW, she kind of had that vibe where she was just like an ass kicker kind of thing. Then she became this nice girl and she wanted to be everybody's friend and buddy and everything. So I kind of think that would be actually a great idea to turn her into a psycho heel that's fed up with being the nice guy. And
Yeah, I would
Well,
have her.
ain't she Kenny's girlfriend?
I don't know.
I think
Somebody
she is
wants,
Kenny's girlfriend.
somebody wants to let us know in the comments. Go right ahead. But here's my thing. You want to? I'm going to play. Okay, I'm going to Monday morning quarterback this. Have her lose because when's Full Gear? Middle of November.
Beginning of November.
Beginning. Okay, so you can have her lose the next couple of weeks. Turn around to Tony and go, I'm getting really pissed off. I'm trying everything. I'm not getting to that top. Let me have a match at Full Gear. At Full Gear, all of a sudden, you kind of see, not, I don't want to say, you see her almost snap.
It's November 13th.
Okay, thank you. And you can have her the next week turn around and say, look, I held this women's division up for the entire pandemic. You guys never appreciated me.
Which that's true.
Think about it. I think that's the perfect way because you get heat on her. And I mean, I think the one thing I am surprised though, Serena Deeb as a heel.
I like Serena Deeb as a heel.
Okay, we bring up Serena Deeb for a second. Do you think we will ever see the possibility of the Straight Edge Society coming back?
Somebody brought that up. Straight Edge. Gallows is there. Serena's there. Punk's there. Somebody else brought that up, and I thought, man, that would be great. But I don't see them splitting up the Good Brothers to do it.
Yeah,
I don't think
It would
you
be great. It would be a great way to have Punk go heel and reunite that stable. You know what I mean? Because I've brought it up a bunch of times, but Punk, every time he goes back to go to the back, he inches towards that heel tunnel and then turns around and he's like, oh, this one over here. Like, you know, I feel like he wants to be a heel. He's always been best, if you ask me, as a heel, or at least, at the very least, the anti-hero.
The promos that come from him when he's a heel are top tier.
Yeah.
Guys, someone's flirting with me in the comments. Oh my God, stop.
Yeah. And I think that's why he keeps coming out and saying, are you guys sick of this yet? Because I think he wants everybody to be sick of it and ready for him to go heel. I think he'd get cheered as a heel, but I think he would be better off in the heel role. I really want him. How I think I would do it is him and Danielson team for a short time. Who better to turn heel on than the other most popular guy, and have him turn on Danielson.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, crap. Him as a heel. Anybody remember the pipe bomb? I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean the promos he cut, but man, if you turned him heel, we wouldn't get the MJF Punk promo battle. So we got to have that before he goes heel, 100%.
Well, here's the other thing. There is one thing though that AEW did announce that I'm kind of a little confused by. At the 2-year anniversary, you had Hangman Adam Page win the Casino Ladder match.
Yep.
Get probably one of the biggest pops of all. Everybody's expecting that you're getting Hangman and Omega for the title at Full Gear. Why would then they announce that they're doing a world title eliminator tournament like they did last year? If they already have a number one contender?
Did they announce a world title eliminator?
I didn't hear that. Hey?
I will double check that. I will double check that, but I could.
Because when they interviewed Hangman in the commercial break for the Road to the Top show, he said, I'll make my intentions clear very soon. So even he's pretty much saying Full Gear. Plus, Full Gear is where the story began, you know.
Hold on.
Him versus Kenny in the first round of the title tournament when it first started.
What year was it when Paige was actually the Joker again for like one of these matches? I think it was the Casino Battle Royale.
Double or Nothing.
One at Double or Nothing, yeah.
I was there for that show.
What year was that?
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Remember the pop that he got then? And he still got the same kind of pop, maybe even more this time. I was like, talk about consistency. Talk about, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes back to him being the most identifiable member of the Bullet Club / Elite the whole time. Like all these other guys were kind of, you know, caricatures and this, and he was just always himself, cowboy shit the whole time. And so I think fans gravitated towards that because they seen him as kind of the most underrated, underappreciated guy in that whole little clique.
Okay.
Let's speak about Bullet Club real quick. My favorite member of Bullet Club is Jay White. I love him with
Jay White is
everything.
in a total zone right now and has been for a little while.
Okay, let me just bring up. All right, it was announced by Sean Rossap with AEW coming up next week, this coming weekend. Because just to let everybody know, there won't be any AEW Wednesday night. It's going to be Saturday.
Oh, what about Rampage going head to head with SmackDown and Tony Khan trying to say, "Oh, we can't wait to beat SmackDown"? Are you
Hold on.
serious?
I was like,
dude?
Tony Khan, when did you become a thug, mate?
I mean,
They obviously we know already. Punk's going to take on Seidel. Ruby's taking on the Bunny, and Inner Circle's taking on Man of the Year with Del Santos. What is it, Del Santos?
Ow.
Sai?
yeah, Dos Santos.
Okay. Dynamite next Saturday. Dante Martin versus Malachi Black. The Lucha Brothers versus Andrade's Mystery Team, which I want to get your guys' opinion on that in a second because I have my prediction of who I think it may be. Danielson versus Bobby Fish, and the World Title Eliminator Tournament bracket will be revealed.
Yeah, and I'm reading the thing, and the championship or the finals of that tournament will be at Full Gear. So that number one contender will be going forward after that. So they're not getting a shot at Full Gear. That's when the finals of that tournament will take place.
But then to me, doesn't that almost diminish Hangman?
No, because then let's say let's say it's Adam Cole that wins the World Title Eliminator Championship, and then Hangman wins the title. Cole can come in at the end of that match and can confront him at the end of that, which that storyline's even built in, because they were buddies, and Adam Cole leaves and comes back, and Hangman's not even part of the clique anymore. So that's
I think the only thing that I would have preferred then maybe is for actually Adam Page, right, to actually win the like that whole thing at Full Gear also. So that, like, I don't know, because now it just seems like, okay, now he just has to sit and just watch. But I guess that does.
He's going to win the title from Omega at Full Gear. This is what I predict. Cole's going to win the Eliminator tournament that same night. He'll come out at the end of the night to be the challenger for Page, and it also leads to dissension within the Elite because Kenny just got beat, but Cole gets the first match against Page, and then all of a sudden, who's the Young Bucks going to side with? And I predict it'll be with Cole. So then Kenny Omega will get some time off, heal up, come back later on as a face, and go after Cole. I do think that Page will win the title, but I don't think it'll be a long run. I think that Cole's going to end up being the champion by February at Revolution.
So we can all say Adam Cole, baby. Oh,
yeah.
Love it.
And I can see it now. Him and Britt both having the top two straps, and they can be that cocky, arrogant couple in AEW that's running the show, like Rollins and Becky in WWE. Here, eventually, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. But I mentioned before, we're going to have a AAA World Tag Team match. Lucha Brothers versus a mystery tag team that apparently, from what I read, only Andrade knows them. Who do you guys think it could be?
Oh, it's going to be his boys that are probably in Ring of Honor right now. Dragon Lee is one of them. He Rush's brother.
And Rush.
Those guys. Well, if it's Andrade bringing him in, but I thought it would be the Young Bucks and take back the trip, because the Young Bucks did have the AAA titles when AEW first started and lost them to the Lucha Brothers. Now the Lucha Brothers beat the Young Bucks for the AEW title. There could be a back and forth type of a thing going on, but if it's Andrade picking the team, I see it being his boys, Los Ingobernables, because they're still kind of doing that stable in Ring of Honor right now. So
that's
and then you got my favorite New Japan clique over there, Los Ingobernables de Japón. They could come in.
Naito.
Yeah, they could come in for a AAA type of match. So They're my favorite stable in New Japan, and Naito is probably my
love,
favorite guy in New Japan.
I
I've
love
always liked
them.
Naito.
I love Sonata. Oh,
Yeah, Sonata, man, if he could bring out more of the personality, because you see it and you see his work and his work in the ring and stuff is great, and he's got the whole look. I mean, he's the look the Japanese love and everything over there, but he needs to bring more of a personality out. Like
Yeah.
Naito's got that personality, and he learned it over there with Andrade and them. You know, they're all
mm,
boys, man. I
I
love
think
that stable.
I
That
think I
was when
saw
I got into the Mexican product, was when they was running Rough Shot down there in CMLL.
I think I read somebody turn around. They were joking, but they said, "Watch, it's going to be Charlotte and Ric Flair under with masks on."
I think Rick's done. I mean, I don't see anybody touching him with a
yeah.
100-foot pole. I mean, seriously, I think he's burnt every.
Actually retire. Actually
Yeah,
retire this time. Go
yeah.
say it. Okay.
I
Go
think
say
he
it.
got involuntarily retired.
Yeah. You
Well,
must
I
go
mean,
Because
sit in
he
the
did
corner
make
and
a
think
comment,
about
"I'll
his
never
actions.
retire." Well, you just got forced into retirement, buddy.
yeah, but I mean, you guys saw the thing I posted in the group thing about how there's supposedly going to be more info coming out in the coming days
Yeah, there's
against
going to be
him.
more.
At this point, realistically, what else can come out about him?
Well, about him, maybe not much, but about some of the other guys that haven't gotten the coverage that Flair's got, because he's the number one out front guy. And let's be honest, he was the one that was the most flamboyant about it, you know. But the guy I feel bad for and the guy I think is going to get totally ran over in it is Dustin, because he was guilty on that plane too. But he's publicly, for years, publicly apologized and publicly bared himself, you know, and all of his past transgressions, and came clean with everything, came clean with being, you know, lost and being addicted to everything. And I did things I'm not proud of and all that stuff. But yet now that all this stuff's coming out, it's like people, you know, because that came out before the whole cancel culture kind of culture in a way. So he kind of avoided that. But now that it's coming out again, I feel like he's going to get smashed and he's going to
I
get
feel
ran
like
over.
I feel like the more that it's made public knowledge, so to speak, that he has actually kind of fessed up to everything and actually apologized for those actions and all of that. I don't really see him getting cancelled.
Well,
Um,
maybe not by people within, but people outside, that their whole life is to, oh, we're the PC police. You know what I mean? I think they'll call for it. But people inside the business that know he's changed, like he's even, like, I guess he's the one that's really running the women's division in AEW, because Kenny's concentrating right now more on the gaming side, the video game and stuff. So Dustin's the one kind of controlling the
oh, I
women's
didn't know
division
that.
right now. Yeah.
And
And
also in promoting the champ, like the whole TBS championship tournament thing. Like he was
yeah,
talking about it, and I was like, that's so random, but cute.
yeah. Dustin, I think, is the guy right now behind the women's division. So, man, and if the women in the company are willing to trust him and give him that opportunity and, you know, forgive him for that stuff, then who is anybody else to, you know, say it? Like, that's the one thing about, like, even Tessa. No, nobody in the business wants to forgive her. So
Yeah.
who are we to forgive her? You know,
Mm,
you know what I
can we
mean?
talk about that?
We have no right to even voice anything about that, because it wasn't done to us. It was done to the other women in the business. And I'm not even just talking about the racism thing. That's bad enough. That she should have been like thrown. I mean, if anybody else in the entertainment industry does that stuff, they're blacklisted and not given a chance for the longest time. Like Morgan Wallen, the country singer, he's still paying the price about it right now. And he was just talking to a buddy, you know, and said, and made the slur comment, you know. So if that's bad enough for him to lose his career, pretty much, which ironically it didn't, but if that's bad enough for him to get blacklisted and he can't even be on country TV, country radio, what have you, then why wasn't that bad enough for Tessa Blanchard to get blacklisted? But you even take that out of the equation, just the general treatment of other people by Tessa Blanchard in the industry is horrific. Like I haven't heard anybody actually stick up for her, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And apparently she was also being difficult to work with for with Impact when they
Yeah.
were like last year, and she was being difficult. I'm like, now you're not even trying to be at least a person who companies can vouch for and actually want to work with.
Yeah, they have it. They gave her the top championship, the men's championship. They made her the focal point of their show, and she still did them dirty like that. That tells you what kind of person she is. I mean,
I
yeah,
honestly feel like I was really excited about Women of Wrestling, but just her
yeah, she put a
tainted the
damper on
entire
it.
thing for me.
Yeah,
The entire
exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
And supposedly, we was talking about the other night, and supposedly they do have a TV deal in place. I haven't heard of who with, but supposedly there is a TV deal in place for that.
I've heard Viacom.
Which Viacom, but what network is what I'm saying? Like, I know they have the streaming service, but
I think that's what they're going for.
But they're saying a TV deal. Like, is there a cable channel Viacom owns, like how Access is owned by Sinclair or what have you?
I think they're gonna go. Crap! I read it a couple days ago. I just forgot which one it was that they're going for, but
And it's actually Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers, that's the money behind it, which surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah, but I mean, even something like that. I mean, you have somebody like her behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys remember the girl Izzy.
Yeah.
Who? Izzy, the girl when Bailey was in NXT.
She's like a little sidekick.
She also just got brought in by them. And she's, I think, 13, 14.
Oh yeah, I heard about Laguti. She's even training like a kid.
Yeah.
It's weird, and like at her gym or something.
Yeah. But I want to get to quickly because I think we're about to wrap up the show in a bit. Just because unless you guys want to keep going, I'm getting like.
It's about that time. We're running on 2 hours. We usually do about an hour and 15 minutes.
I want to get into the story. I was mentioning this before. I want to get into the storyline that I don't think anybody's talking about. But it's some of the best storytelling I've ever seen. And that's over in the NWA. The NWA, yes, they've had their issues. Before they were off for a while because of the whole situation with Dave Lagana and then with COVID. They've been around since 2019. And the main storyline they had while Nick Aldis was the champion was Nick Aldis and Tim Storm. And I've seen, for the most part, most of the storyline. They just aired the last episode they aired. Saw Tom Latimer and Chris Adonis, who people may remember them more as Chris Masters and Bram. Now, was he Bram?
Yeah.
Turning on Nick Aldis. But to the point that they actually there was one part they actually did a pile driver onto a chair. And I highly recommend people to go see this episode because the selling job that Nick Aldis does is some of the best stuff I've ever seen.
I think they should call Tim Storm Time Storm because number one, he's old as time, and number two, he's been around since the beginning of time. So
yeah,
he doesn't seem to go away, but he did carry that company for the longest time. Because I will correct you. You say 2019. I say 1905 because I was an NWA fan from years back. But
wait, you've been a fan since 1905?
Yes, NWA has been. I feel like I've been around since 1905. But yeah, like a lot of people skim over that. Even the WCW was the NWA. It wasn't. WCW was one of their shows that was part of the NWA.
Okay, okay. They started their Power.
Yes,
series.
They relaunched 2019, but the TNA was even the NWA for the longest time at their beginnings.
Yeah,
they was NWA TNA until they had the falling out, and which actually led to Billy Corben wanting to get involved with the NWA because he was like, "Oh, TNA wants to screw me. I'll go partner with your old partners." But it's funny because Nick Aldis, I mean, man, he's another guy that fits the WWE mold and model, but they've never looked at him and wanted to bring him in for some reason.
Honestly,
I don't even know. I mean,
we always talk about people in the wrestling world who have had a character change and it benefits their career big time.
mm-hmm.
Nick Aldis is somebody who's in that category.
Yeah, Nick Aldis is awesome now. He was, what was that stable he was in TNA?
Oh, Main Event Mafia?
British Invasion?
Yeah, British Invasion.
Yeah.
But then wasn't he in Main Event? No, not Main Event Mafia.
He was part of, was it the Main Event Mafia?
It was the one where it was him, Samoa Joe,
yeah,
Rampage, what's his face? The UFC guy.
Oh, Rampage
Jackson?
King Mo came in for a while.
Yeah, he was, and then no, I'm talking about the early days.
Oh,
when they were feuding with Aces and Eights.
Oh yeah, that was Main Event Mafia.
Main Event Mafia, okay, yeah, that was Samoa Joe,
Booker T.
No. I think we're thinking about two different. When you had, hold on, now I gotta look it up. Hold on.
But anyway, back to the NWA thing. Trevor Murdoch. I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but the guy that used to be in WWE with Garrison Cade, before Garrison Cade had his troubles and ended up passing away. But Trevor Murdoch, the guy that looks like the dude down the road that works on your car, is now the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So congratulations to him, because he definitely doesn't fit a mold, but he has stayed. Yes, he has stayed true. He has kept working, and he's being rewarded now with the NWA World Championship. He's always been good. I always liked him. You always got to have like that redneck hillbilly character, just so you can round out the whole character tree. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that he has been given a chance. But
Nick says facts, lol. Boy, looks like he'll change my oil.
That's right.
Oh,
Trevor Murdoch, the oil changer. That's right. He works at Jiffy Lube.
He does.
Here's another one. Damian Sandow, Aaron Stevens. He was in NWA, which I'm not sure if he still is. Yeah. Okay. He should be given a run with the strap. I feel like WWF should have gave him a run with the big strap when he was, in WWF. I mean, he's a great worker, good character, great on the mic.
You want your left. You know what I equate the whole Trevor Murdoch Nick Aldis feud to?
Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me, Trevor Murdoch is the modern day Dusty.
Yeah.
But last two things I want to get to, and if Nick, wants to hop on for this one, he may find this one interesting. Did you guys hear the newest song by The Rock?
He made his rap debut. Woo!
He has a song now.
Yeah.
Yes, with Tech Nine.
Yeah, and Tech Nine, ironically, is the only other guy on that song I've ever heard of. But
I heard this. I've listened to the song a few times, and he's right at the end.
Yeah, he just does a small little part at the end.
Yeah.
What does he say? What are the lyrics?
It's very.
It says the song was fire.
Yeah, I highly recommend, if you're a fan of Tech Nine's music, I highly recommend downloading this or going to your local CD place and buying the CD. I don't think it made it to the CD. I think people now
buy CDs anymore.
No one buys CDs.
People still buy records.
Damn, John, I thought I was old. What the heck you talking, man? CDs.
People still buy records.
I bet you still go and buy VHS tapes, don't you?
No, I actually do have a VHS tape in my room.
Yeah.
Of WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
But
the link is posted in the comments for those of you that want to check that video out.
Yes.
I'll definitely be checking it out. And you'll find my thoughts on Twitter, honestly.
I'll put it to you this way. This may actually be a topic for us at another point, but listen to that song and led me to think, who is the best entertainer?
I thought you was gonna say who's the better wrestling rapper, The Rock or the Macho Man,
Or John Cena.
or John Cena. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that should be seriously like a poll. List all the
Honestly.
guys that have done like rap from wrestling, because the hit
You know
road
what? I
stuff
think
is
I'm gonna
actually not
post-
bad. Be
I think
Fab
I'm gonna
has
post that
actually
on
been on some
Twitter.
people's stuff. What?
I think I'm actually gonna post that on Twitter. I
Yeah.
want to know
Yeah.
what you guys think. No.
Let's get a poll going on that. But last thing I
Yes.
want to get to, and if Nick wants to hop on for this is about his favorite wrestler.
Wait. Before we get there, guys. I just wanted to quickly remind you, right, to check out first of all, the weekly wrestling roundup up on notorietysports.net. Let's go. And of course, right now, in like a few minutes, actually, we're gonna have the Impact Knockouts Knockdown event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I can just quickly go through the card.
Yes, let's go through. Yeah, let's go through it quickly.
Yeah, so we have PK going up against the Influence in a Knockouts Tag Team title match. We have Diana Perazzo going up against Marsha Slamovich in a Pick Your Poison match picked by yours truly, Mickey James. We have Savannah Evans versus Kimberly versus Alicia versus Jordan Grace in a Monsters Ball Fatal 4-Way match type of thing. And then, of course, we have the Knockouts Knockdown first round matches that are also going to be happening. So that's Tasha Steeles going up against Jamie Senegal, Chelsea Green going up against Renee Michelle, Lady Frost going up against Rachel Illering, and Brandy Lauren going up against Mercedes Martinez. And on commentary, well, the announced team altogether, who is it? Oh, we have Veda Scott as the play-by-play announcer, Mickey James is the color analyst, as well as Melissa Santos as the ring announcer. So
that should be a pretty good team there.
Here's
Slamovich, by the way. Slamovich is so underrated. She needs to be pushed, guaranteed. I mean, she's definitely. Yeah, I like her.
It's funny, Chichi. You're mentioning a lot of those women, and I was going back to the other show I used to do called the Nation Show, and I can't tell you how many of those women we've interviewed. Masha Slamovich is probably one of the nicest women.
Yeah.
But she, like Sai just said, she is so underrated.
Yeah.
But because the problem is nobody knows of her. Yeah. Unless you saw her in Mission Pro Wrestling, which I have been lucky enough, I've seen a few of their shows now, especially, when they first started. A lot of those women are good. Yeah. She's good. Maddie Rankowski is good. Obviously, Thunder Rosa is good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're good because of the woman that's leading them.
We know who the other coach is, right? For Mission Pro?
Who's that?
Jazz.
Oh, yeah, Jazz. I don't know why I keep forgetting her. But yeah.
Jazz is there.
So think about that. I mean, every woman that comes out of that system should be great. I mean, should be top notch. I mean, with those two women being your coaches.
You want me? I'll give you another name of somebody you should watch out for. Genocide. If you ever get it, she's great. She is somebody who is good. I want to get to quickly, or I mean, unless there's anything else we want to get to, want to leave the best for last.
Yes.
No,
I think this is the part where we pull up the graphic.
So, what'd you say?
Is it going to be something about stupid Goldberg?
Yes, we're going to talk about Goldberg's greatest matches. I'm sorry to break the news.
Start having network issues. Start having, Wi-Fi issues.
Like Nick said, logging off. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yes, folks, we're going to talk about Goldberg's greatest matches. No,
it would have to be the Hulk Hogan match when he won the title. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
You mean the one where
please don't tell me we actually having this chat. I thought we were joking. Please, guys.
I thought he was joking too, but I was just throwing my
I'm joking.
My thought out there. It's the Hulk Hogan match.
No, Nick, if you can hear us, can you throw up the graphic of the man, the myth, the legend himself?
Yes.
Folks,
Latino Heat.
It's Viva La Raza's birthday today. He would have been 54 today.
Yep.
Okay, let me go now. Gigi, I'll throw it to you first. Favorite Eddie Guerrero moment or match?
First of all, I'm 20, right? So yeah, I was born. You can calculate when I was born, whatever. Um, right? And I started being a wrestling fan. Like I started watching wrestling from the age of like 4, I think, because my brother, he was a fan, whatever. And I initially hated wrestling. I was like, why are we watching this? Right? But you know who actually got me interested in wrestling? The man himself, Eddie Guerrero. Um, Favorite wrestler of all time. I didn't get to experience him that much, but he's still my favorite wrestler of all time. Definitely, I feel like his win, I think it was over Brock Lesnar. I don't know when exactly it was, like which year specifically, but I remember like there were streamers going all over the place, and he was like in the crowd with the fans, and he was just celebrating and all of that. I feel
Wasn't
like
that No
that
Way
was,
Out, if I remember correctly?
it might have been. I think it was actually, yeah. I think
I'm
that
gonna.
was I think that was my favorite moment. Also that moment, like I always look at that picture and I find it so cute of him and Chris Benoit like actually hugging and embracing, and they both just won championships. I'm like, ooh. But yeah, definitely that No Way Out victory when he was just taking it all in and all of that. I feel like that was
Yeah,
my favorite
that was the
moment.
culmination of his whole career right there. So you could see the
Yeah.
happiness and
Yep,
stuff.
that
My
was no.
favorite moment, I do have to say, my favorite moment is the Chris Benoit moment with both. I mean, I know we're not supposed to celebrate Chris Benoit and what have you. I'm not celebrating him necessarily, but if there was ever two guys that gave their life to the business and them being best friends in real life and both being the champions at that time at WrestleMania, the biggest show in the world. And, that's definitely probably my favorite moment because of the realism. But my favorite stuff, ring in wrestling stuff, was in the WCW, the angle with him and Bischoff and him throwing coffee on himself and then that whole angle and coming back with the LWO and that stuff and trying to get Ray to come in and Ray saying no and going back and forth and all that, because I feel like that was him and he was the one doing that story. So that's kind of like the one thing I kind of liked as far as like his WCW stuff. WWE stuff, of course, he came in with Radicals, broke his arm on the frog splash, the first thing he did in the company, which kind of sucked, kind of set him back a little bit. But again, the Brock Lesnar stuff, then that was amazing because of the comedy angle too. I liked him when he was Latino Heat with China. I mean, there's too many things to bring in and his stuff with Chavo and the lie, cheat, and steal and all that stuff. I mean, all that was great, but the Brock stuff and then the angle with Bischoff trying to fire him, and he was like, "I fire myself," and threw the coffee on himself and all stuff. Because I feel like that was some real heat between the two of them. Then
I have two that I have with Eddie, and it's one of them. I'm surprised neither of you guys even said his feud with Rey Mysterio.
Oh, over Dominic. Oh, I mean, I liked the feud. I just didn't like that part of it.
No, my favorite match he ever had, him and D. Malenko, ECW.
That was a good one.
Their last night there. The one where I think I remember correctly, I think it was they had the entire show, or they had a good majority of it. And I've seen that a few times. And
yeah, because their show was only like an hour long at the time, and they had like a 40-minute match.
You want to talk about a technically based match with ground and pound? It was right there.
Yeah,
it was right there.
There was this stuff in Japan with Benoit when Benoit was the what was he, Pegasus Kid, and Eddie was under the mask as Tiger mask. Those matches in Japan were awesome.
Yeah. Nick, if you want to hop on for a second, I'd love to get your take on this.
Hey.
Oh, I was muted, my bad.
Don't worry, we didn't even hear what you said, so you're good.
Eddie's big time down there where you're from, man. So what's your favorite stuff?
it's tough to put one on this guy. Like outside of like the Hardys and Stone Cold and The Rock, this was like my next guy. Like especially being down here in Houston, he's the Mexican culture. Like I remember seeing like grandmas and grandpas and aunts, uncles wearing his shirt, and I'd be like, "Oh, you're an Eddie Guerrero fan?" They're like, "I don't even know who this is." And
but he was Mexican, so they was proud.
yeah, they wear his shirt. Like you still see it. Like I remember, I bought his shirt that I'm your papi, and I wore it to work, and all these mom and dads are like, "Oh my gosh, that's Eddie Guerrero's shirt." I'm just like, "How do y'all know
And
that?"
I'm sure
Like,
the ladies were also like, "Ooh,
yeah, it worked
your
out. It
papi."
worked out. But I think it's hard because I mean I don't want to I don't want to say Chris Benoit's name because it's like taboo in the wrestling world. But I just feel like either between that Chris Benoit or the Rey Mysterio matches in themselves, like to see two friends go at it and they love the sport and they love it, like it's just beautiful. But that moment where he won the title, I think is my greatest moment. I'll always remember. Like I legit cried. Like, yo, this guy finally won this. A guy that I've been pushing for. Like I don't feel like
local hero down there. I mean, it would have meant more even to you than it would to someone else. That even though they might love him and stuff, for him to be like local down there and his family to have the legacy and the reach down there in that state in that area. So that's why I was it. What do you think's better, his matches with Ray in WWE or his matches with Ray in WCW? Because I lean more towards the WCW matches because they were able to just go and no restrictions and stuff like that. So I lean more towards the WCW matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think with those, it's one of those like I'm trying to show you what I can do. Whereas in WWE, you kind of already had like an understanding, like, all right, this is what you're gonna do now. But that down there was like, y'all two go out there and light it up, whatever. And so they had I remember I think my grandpa showed me a video of like Eddie Guerrero and them like just practicing in the ring, like, and I was like, it was on like a DVD that I bought at like a pawn shop or something. Like,
nice.
I said, dude was like a legend. I said, like, we idolize Selena down here in Texas, and Eddie Guerrero's like right up there with her, like as like an icon here, like. So yeah, I ain't picking just one.
That's why I said it's kind of hard to pick one, but I just wanted to name all of them I like, just to show how much he meant to the business. Yeah, they definitely don't make him like him anymore. That's for sure.
Can I just say something, right? You guys know that I'm in South Africa, right, and whatever. And here, wrestling, it's a big deal in terms of like, okay, everyone has had a phase where they liked wrestling, right? But then most of the time, like you'll bring up a name of like a legend or whatever, and they won't really know who that is, But Eddie Guerrero is a name that literally everyone knows. Like you'll just be like Eddie Guerrero. Someone might be like, I think I know that person. Then you're like, yeah, lie, cheat, steal. They're like, it's one of those things where he is that bigger star because he wasn't the typical wrestler, man. Like, how like there's the big wrestlers and all of that. He was just more like cruiserweight, and he had that thing. He had zest to him. So, man, yeah.
But Vicky even talks about that when she, you can tell she smiles, gives a big old smile on her face when she talks about how they met and things like that. About how he had that even just walking in. When they met, he had that charisma and that personality that everybody just gravitated towards him.
He had the it factor.
Oh yeah, look,
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I downloaded a little video for us because I know I have met a few WWE young fans that are like, "What was so great about him?" And I'm just like, "It's just
young." Wait, how young? How
like
young?
I remember I teach, so I have a few some high school fans that think that Roman Reigns really is the number one ever, and I'm like,
and it's like,
I'm like, they think that Alberto Del Rio was one of the greatest Mexican. Not just
You brought him up. Did you
He's
guys
trying
hear,
to
by the
convince
way?
everybody he's on his way back to the WWE.
Not him, child. Not him.
Yeah, he's coming back. I hear he's taking on Goldberg.
Oh,
Getting off of this by later.
yeah.
But,
Let's start with that video, Nick.
let me see. I got you.
Viva la raza! I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Yo, mamacita, I got that passion that's lasting long. Los mujeres fall in love with that Latin charm. One woman isn't enough, amigo. Siempre cogiendo más mujeres porque soy latino. And I'm tougher than tough, calling your bluff, cuz I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. I don't care if you don't like me. Everybody wants to fight me. You can feel it, hey.
I was vibing. I was vibing.
He made me want to buy a lowrider.
He ain't like me to buy a low rider. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but yeah, about the Del Rio thing, I did hear that he already claims he is coming back.
Yeah, no, he's not. They talk about somebody toxic. I mean, give me a break.
But guys, picture this. Alberto comes back. He faces Goldberg. They take each other out.
Yeah, and a loser leaves town match, and they both lose by like double count out. So
I'll be happy with that.
We can tell you there'll be a big party happening in Houston.
Yeah. Well, Caleb's here, so he might be sad, but
well, you know,
I honestly do know a ton of Goldberg fans, though. So
Ew. I mean, he's cool. There's nothing wrong.
it's
with
Caleb
him.
and his burner accounts.
yeah. Probably. But
Right is wrong. So I got that right.
All right, y'all.
All right, I think it's time we wrap the show up for tonight. And
See
I
y'all
will say
next
this.
week.
Yep, guys, this has been a blast tonight.
Also,
No, go ahead.
be sure, guys, be sure to follow us everywhere. You know, Twitter, Instagram at Notoriety Sports. Here on Facebook, Notoriety Sports Network and Notoriety Sports TV. Let's go. And on TikTok, this is from me, Chinyeri Okafo, first of her name, Chichi, right? Please follow the TikTok page, guys, because I really, really want to get some of these people dancing. And I feel like, you know, they won't do it for like less than a certain amount of followers. So let's go. Run it up, guys. Run it up.
Man,
You
you don't
can
want
find
me
us
to
on-
dance. I'll tell you that right now.
I was gonna say, Chi-Chi, if you want to get somebody dancing, have Goldberg lose that crown jewel. You may get Nick doing it very easily.
I would do
You know
it
what we should
on
do actually? We
TikTok.
should have predict like for the shows, right? We should have predictions and then we should dare each other that whoever loses predictions, you have to do something on the TikTok.
Oh, we
page.
got
We can
okay.
do that. We can do that.
That's that's something we can definitely do.
Watch
but-
me not lose. Watch me not do that. I'm not embarrassing myself like this.
Okay. Nick, I'll throw it to you first. Where can people find you on Twitter?
Man, honestly, you find me on all the networks. I have my personals. If you can find me, Nick at Night is on everything. Other than that, just Notoriety Sports. I'm running pretty much all the social medias at some point. So
Yeah.
Now,
Same
there.
thing.
Sai, what about you? Where can people find you on Twitter and all
Side
that?
dog.
You can find what was
Side
it?
dog. 2 G's. Too big for 1 G.
that's for too big for one G.
Chi-Chi, what about you? Where can people find you on Twitter?
You guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. And don't be shy, guys. I'm nice. I don't bite. You guys can find me at _. That's at CHINYEREOKAFOR_.
I'm very simple on Twitter. You can just search my name, you'll find me. I basically
No, John, no. Don't say that. I struggled.
well, because the thing is, my profile picture is not a picture of me. It's a picture of Matt Cardona after he won the GCW title against Nick Gage.
There we go. So yeah, now they know to look for that. You see.
Just look for that.
Also, guys, make sure that like Twitter Spaces, because you know I feel like we'll be coming at you guys with them Twitter Spaces. We're moving our shows over to Twitter also, so tap in, okay. And also, you never know who's running it. You know, I don't know, but like you never know, a certain baby from South Africa might just be running the account on a specific day. So make sure.
Hey, all
And-
right.
And you also
I think we got the personality finally coming out, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, no. The live stream we saw it when she was talking about licking Finn Balor if he was close.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not see that. It was 4 a.m.
She didn't think that
You
me
know
and Zach heard it because we were talking, but she said it and we both like, what?
Did she say that?
I didn't. So I think you should choose to support me. Believe me, I'm innocent.
And I'm professional. But on that note, guys, this has been a blast tonight. Stay locked into all of our social media accounts that you'll see when our next episode will be and any of the great program we have here. But Forsai and Chi-Chi and Nick, thank you again for producing tonight. I appreciate it big time. I'm John. In the words of Billy Joel, life's a set of hellos and goodbyes. Unfortunately, it is time to say goodbye. We'll catch you guys next time.
Variety Sports Network. Built